6.
Yeah.
Liftoff show. Just incredible.
Sour milk.
LA royalty. Prolific.
Hey, man.
Game is here.
Yeah, man. I'm happy to be here, man.
It's good to have you on the show, man.
Love.
Thank you for pulling up, man.
Welcome.
Old friends.
Dog, cheers.
Cheers.
I'll have water.
We'll do water.
I don't drink. You know what I'm saying?
Love,
So
man.
you know
It could be vodka.
Yeah. There's a vodka. Actually, this is vodka.
You know, water kills too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, too much of that.
But this is out of glass, not plastic.
Hey, even worse.
Game.
There's a lot of that at Venice Beach going around.
Yeah. New song, West Side, out right now.
Yeah, man.
Produced by Dre.
No,
Or mixed and mastered by Dre.
West Side didn't even mix and mastered by Dre, man. West Side was mixed and mastered by Steve B, who also mixed. I'm not mixed, but mastered and mixed and mastered a bunch of shit from the documentary. I stick with my same guys, bro.
Team, right?
Yeah, same team, man. Dre did mix on the album, which is dope, because anytime you got Dre, you know, involved in anything, it sounds better. And the two songs that Dre mixed on the album, you will know.
Yeah.
You will know, because
Okay.
the shit feel like if you in your car riding solo, it feel like I'm in the passenger seat. Like that's how Dre mix, bro. Like game gonna be with you on that day. Like, and Dre is the best at that. You know, secondary to Dre with that, and I mean it's like not on Dre level, and I'll say it because you know nobody's on Dre's level, but DJ Quick is good with that too, bro.
Quick, man.
Another dude that just touches every knob on the fucking board, and you don't know what the fuck they doing, bro. But it comes,
But when it
sound
comes
comes out
out,
crazy, bro. And I remember, like, you know, being young and being in there with Quick, like, come on, bro.
Like, what the fuck are you
You
talking
don't
about?
understand it till you hear the finished product.
Right.
So if you can get DJ Quick to mix a record, or you're not getting Dr. Dre, it's just you gotta have history, and it's just gonna be you can't even fucking get to Dr. Dre, bro. Fuck them. Wizard of Oz. You gotta turn into a whole bitch, put on Dorothy dress, and walk the yellow brick road with fucking Toto to get to Dre, bro. Like,
So, even if you do have a history with Dre, how easy is that phone call to get him on the phone and be like, or is it still a struggle?
nah, I can hit Dre right now. We should do a test.
We
I
should
mean,
do a test.
you can.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see, man.
I want
Let's see.
to, you know, I mean,
I should be able to get, you know what I'm saying, mate? If he ain't on his yacht, is his, you know, his country long yacht.
Some island somewhere.
Let's just see, man. Let's see, man. See
Put
if
it to the test.
see if I can get
Picks
Dre,
up.
man.
Let's put it to the
Let's
test.
see, man. Hopefully it ain't even fucking.
That wasn't
Hey,
even
Dre.
a full ring.
I think it was half
Hey
a
Dre,
ring.
man. Hey Dre, I told niggas, I said when I call Dre, he pick up for me. Nigga, the phone ain't even ring, nigga.
That's a fact.
What's cracking, gang, son?
Nigga, I love you. I'm out. That's all I want. Hey, nigga, the phone ain't even ring, dog.
Oh, I'm just sitting there looking at Muhammad Ali, my nigga, watching, you know, it's all good.
Hey,
How you doing?
hey, my nigga Love, I'm up here playing songs, man, with the LA Leaguers, man. I told them niggas if I call Dre gon' pick up. Nigga, the phone ain't ring, bro.
That's what's up.
Hey, man.
Got you.
Doc, it's Love, man. What's up? This just incredible, Doc.
Hey, what's up, Jels? How you doing?
I'm great, brother. How you doing?
I'm excellent, man. I don't even think I could be any better.
Right. Always the best vibes, man. We up here with Game right
I
now.
was telling them about the record you mixed, man, and you know, I was telling them how it just when Dre mixed a record, bro, it's just different, man.
Yeah, man, that was a good time, man. That was dope.
Hey, but I'm gonna let you stay at Muhammad Ali, man. I love you. I'ma holler at you.
All right, peace. Have a good one.
Love you, Doc.
Yo.
Wow, that was a half a ring.
What's good, y'all? It's Jay Coffee Talk back again with another video for you guys. Before we get going, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. It only takes a moment, helps the channel grow. Stay up, you know, in tune with all the videos and everything. Make sure to tap in the comments. As always, your feedback is very important to this channel. So check it out, man. You heard Game there. You know, he's in there with the LA Leakers promoting this new album, Born to Rap, which he's saying is his final album. He's going to retire. I've heard this a few times with Game. I believe LAX, he said he was going to retire after LAX. Then I'm not positive, but I think he said it before the Red album too. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Who knows, man? But anyways, you heard him speaking, calling Dre up. And he was talking about, you know, I get Dre right on the phone. Dre picked right up and everything. And I just was kind of thinking a little bit about the Game and Dre's relationship, and kind of how there was what seemed to be a beef in there. And you didn't hear about it that much. You know, Dre's pretty quiet dude. You know what I mean? One of the heavyweights in hip hop, one of the biggest, best producers of all time in the game, and it's just not Dre's style to be speaking about, you know, situations he's having, beefs or anything really. You know what I mean? You don't really see Dre doing interviews or anything like that. You don't see Dre on podcasts. You don't really see Dre much at all, man. You know, he does his thing in the lab. He lives a quiet life. Dre just is not in the spotlight. He's not that kind of dude. But, you know, think back about when the documentary was coming out and leading up to then. You know what I mean? We were hearing of Game on mixtapes. He was all over the mixtape circuit. There was a situation where he got into that beef over the whole Joe Budden thing, because like Joe Budden and G Unit was beefing at the time, and then Game did that DJ Clue track, and he added Joe Budden and I think Stack Bundles on the track as well, and Budden dissed G Unit. So it seemed as if, you know, Game was doing a song with Budden, who 50 was beefing with, and was rocking with him while he was dissing 50 on the same track, you know. But it was unbeknownst to the Game. He didn't know that Clue had did that. But, you know, maybe could be part of the reason of the rocky relationship that Game and 50 had. But basically, man, you know, he was being promoted as Dre's protege. You know, as we all know, he was placed with G Unit. Like Jimmy Iovine and Dre got together and spoke on it, and they were decided to put him with G Unit for, you know, the image and promoting him. He'd be the, you know, the West Coast, like G Unit West almost type deal. You know what I mean? And they had Buck down south, and, you know, so it wasn't like there was a relationship with the Game like there was with most other G Unit artists, or I believe all of them, other than Game. Like Game was placed there, so it was different off the rip. But as I said, he was like Dre's protege and everything. And then we know the documentary drops, the beef happens with 50, and you know, Game embarks on the G Unit campaign, putting out them Black Wall Street mixtapes, getting that 50 and everything like that. But as we know, you know, G Unit is under that at that time, you know, not anymore, was under the Aftermath, was signed with Shady. So they were like under the Shady, which is under Aftermath, which is all as a whole under the Interscope umbrella. So, you know, when they were beefing and going at it and everything, I didn't think it was going to affect Dre, his relationship with Dre, you know, and him as an Aftermath artist. But when the second album came out, the Doctor's Advocate, you know, word had hit right around when the One Blood track was the single was put out and everything, and we were seeing that video playing and hearing that on the radio and on some mixtapes and everything in the club. You know, that song was all over the place. Word hit that Game was no longer with Aftermath. He was with Geffen, which is also a Interscope conglomerate, Interscope as well. So it was like, what's good with that? You know what I mean? Well, on the second single off of Doctor's Advocate, after One Blood, he put out the Let's Ride track, and they were in the like very beginning of the song, he mentioned something about Aftermath.
Whole world how it go. The Game is back. The Aftermath chain is gone. The D's is chrome.
So you know what I'm saying? Hearing him say that, as I said, we knew word had hit that he went to Geffen, but it was like, you know, the way that he said that in the song, that he felt to put it out there. I don't know, you know what I mean? And also just the name, the album being named The Doctor's Advocate, I didn't really peep it at first, but you know, he says that about the Aftermath chain is gone, and, you know, not aggressive, but it was just something he felt like putting out there. Well, then if you listen to the Doctor's Advocate track on there, it was really strange, man. It was like him and Busta Rhymes was featured on it, and it almost reminded me of Like Father, Like Son on the first, on the documentary, how that featured Busta Rhymes as well. And it was like an emotional song and everything where he was talking about the birth of his son. Well, on Doctor's Advocate, it was weird. It was like he was talking and I don't know, it was like he was crying kind of, and he was reminiscent of how close he was with Dre. And it was almost like he's like, I'm mad at you, but I'm not. I don't want to beef. I love you, Dre. You put me on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you listen to that track, you go back and listen to it, it was just strange. It was like, basically, Dre had kind of dismissed him too, and he was emotional about it. Like, I never quite, there was always word that 50 Cent pressured Dre to get Game off the label after that beef had happened. And I just always thought, no matter what, as I said earlier, that it wouldn't, the G-Unit beef and beef with 50 wouldn't affect his relationship with Dr. Dre. But he was off Aftermath. He's making songs on there kind of pleading like, Dre, I miss you. And, later on, I believe hearing that all communication had ceased between them. And word always was that Dre told Game, don't beef with 50. Like, after the initial beef, he didn't want Game to make any songs verse 5th. And I don't know, I believe Game kind of, just did what he did. And, we've heard of other things prior to that, that he wasn't supposed to do. 50 Cent and Dre had spoke on that there were certain things that they told Game, don't do this, don't do that, don't do the Certified Gangsters video. And he did. Like, they had some kind of promotional campaign that they wanted to do for the Game. And when he started doing things on his own, it kind of threw a wrench into the plan that 5th and Dre had came up with. So I guess Dre was just like, all right, man, you're off the label. So I don't know. I never put that quite together right away, but there definitely, was some rift going on between them there. Well, later on, he releases LAX, and on Dope Boys, the song that he did with Travis Barker, another single, there was a video and everything to it. He spoke on his relationship with Dre on that track. So by this point, it's clear, definitely, that there's some hard feelings. The way he put it out there, he's saying, tell Dre, pick up the phone before I come through your window, like, Doc, I'm home. So they still ain't talking. And, well, I can't really remember, but I want to say LAX came out like 2009, 2010. These dudes still weren't beefing then. Because, as you know, Doctor's Advocate had no Dre production on there. And it's just nuts, man. This beef wasn't put out there like that. I mean, from Dre's perspective, maybe it wasn't a beef. I don't know. It was more like, I guess he was disciplining Game, or was like, yo, I can't really work with you. You do outlandish things. You can't control your emotions. You don't listen. You know what I mean? But, after LAX, then there's the Red album. Now, sometime there was a big gap in between when the Red album and LAX released. And on that, the leading up to the Red album, there was like word that Game and Dre were reconciling. There was word that he was coming back to Aftermath. At one point in time, Game tweeted out a series of pictures, him in the studio with Dre and Snoop, him wearing a bunch of Aftermath chains, talking about everything comes full circle. And it was even being reported that he was back on Aftermath. And Game might have said it himself, but I think he did, but I don't quote me on it, But nonetheless, the Red album drops. And on the Red album, it's not on Aftermath. But Dr. Dre did do a bunch of the intro and a series of like skits on there, like narration to the album, basically. So, they had somewhat kind of reconciled the fact that he had him on there. So, now it's like they're back to working together like that. And I feel like it's been like that for some time. When the Straight Outta Compton movie was out, they did some work together, and you've seen them together. And I believe that Dre has mixed some other stuff for Game since then on some other projects. And as you heard him there, he did 2 joints on this album, this upcoming album, Born to Rap, which I don't know, get in the comments, let me know what y'all think about all that, about this upcoming album, about the freestyle he spit, about the new, the West Side track. I almost called it West Side Story, but the West Side track. And, you know, also what you guys think about this whole situation. Like, did you guys ever peep that there was a rift between Dre and the Game? Like, it's something that wasn't really spoke about ever, as I said. And I think the Game, honestly, as we, you know, I've made little blogs and things kind of dissing the Game before, but I'm not even, when I say this isn't meant to be, I know this shit. This is dead serious. I believe Game was just kind of hurt. Like, he felt hurt, and he felt funny about it. You know what I mean? Like, he went from being Dre's protege, having his album executive produced by Dre, to being off the label. You know, not having Dre working on none of his albums no more or anything like that for quite some time, and not even speaking. But it was just something that you didn't really hear like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't put out there like that. It was kept quiet. So tap in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about it all. As I said, if it was something that you guys had realized, and what you guys think about this upcoming project he's going to drop. And do you believe that this is his last album, that he really is going to retire this time? Thanks for tapping in, y'all. It's Jay Coffee Talk. As I said, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell for all the new people to the channel. Make sure to tap in. It's very important, your feedback. And I do other content, sports, music, news, life, current events, podcasts, and more. Till next time, I'm out of here. It's Jay Coffee Talk. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.